So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of on last week's episode. If you are watching this, actually, if you're listening to this too, full disclosure, I got that Arnold Former yesterday. I mixed the light with the brown. So if I am seeming a bit unenthused, like just know it's because of that. It's not because of this episode. I am very excited to talk about it. Just wanted to issue a warning for my possible low energy throughout the episode. But we are here. D, how's it going?
I'm good. You're getting your upgrade, so it's a little downtime for the moment.
Oh
That's all
yeah,
it
we
is
we
before
are
you
on
fully
5G.
activated.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, I'm good. Thanks for asking. I'm glad you
So
got
yeah,
vaxxed up.
oh yeah, had to. But yeah, as we always start on general impressions, what did you think about this episode?
Oh yeah, it was so. The craziest part is I thought about you, of course, because I was like, "Ooh, Ronnie hates exposition," but it didn't feel like it. It felt more like Ken just kind of telling us his plan versus him telling us what's happening in the universe. So I guess it doesn't really count.
No, it doesn't, and
Okay.
I'll get to that later and tell you why I didn't mind it. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah. And I want look, I'm usually very much for my women folk. Like know that about me. That's my truth. I live in it and I'm very much pro woman. Shiv, I want less. Like whatever Shiv has, I want her to have less of it because she really just makes my skin itch. I just don't know why. I guess I know why. I know why, and it's because she's a woman, and I just want her to be better than the rest of them, but she's not, and it annoys me to no ends. And I not even is she not better than the other ones. She's like worse than they are.
Mhm.
So yeah, but guess we'll kind of get into Roman and Jerry, but yeah, for now that's where I'm at. General impressions, general job.
I'll tell you what though, she is thicker than the
Enough,
crowd at the
enough,
Capitol
en-
on January 6th. But yeah,
enough.
but yeah,
Pfizer and Moderna and
but yeah,
Johnson
general
Johnson.
impressions. I I too like this episode. Something this show does well. I mentioned it last week. The writing, the dialogue. If any other show did this episode where they basically retreat from the action, it you would have walked away thinking like, man, this is a filler episode. But because the fast-paced dialogue and kind of the way is almost this episode was almost like a stage play of sorts. Like you put the four characters in like one space and like on top of the dialogue is also how they interact with each other. It's also their body language. It's different things. So yeah, this is just a show that's like confident in itself. And like I said, if any other show would have did an episode like this, it would have felt like filler. But once again, this episode is still just as entertaining because they know it's like they know these people by now. They know how they would interact with each other. So yeah, it was another good episode.
I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. It's a bottle episode.
Hmm.
It is. It is because even in both settings, they were still in the rooms. Like when we went to Logan and his crew, they were in one room. We went to Ken and the kids, they were in one room. Except I guess they kind of went to Jerry and then they went to the
Yeah.
car. But pretty much, I mean, for
Hmm.
the most part, it was a bottle episode, which I didn't mind, and I usually hate those. Usually.
So last week we asked the question like, who do we think would flip? The more interesting question is, or should have been, excuse me, which person would Kendall want to flip? And now we have the answer. Obviously, with Shiv, like he flat
Shift,
out
yeah.
told her, like, "Hey, like you're the only one I want, so come over."
Yeah,
Let me ask you this: like, at any time during this, do you think she was thinking about it, or do you think she was just fishing for information?
yeah, she was. Like, there's no part of me that doesn't think Shiv was trying to do the thing that was best in her interest. The only reason she didn't stick with Ken is honestly, I think she's afraid of Logan. I really do.
Hmm.
I think all of them are afraid of Logan, and that is the only reason they're not going with Kendall because his plan was sound. It made sense, and everybody agreed with it. They're like, If we wanted to take Dad down, this is it. This is the thing that would do it. But she was fine until she realized that she still wouldn't be the one. It wouldn't be, she wouldn't be able to say it's me. Like she's been trying to say the
Mm.
whole show. And once she figured that out, I think she thought, well, my best bet is to go to Dad because he's vulnerable right now, and I'm his best bet. Jerry, I don't think she has confidence that Jerry's gonna last long, so she thinks she has a better chance of being top dog if she goes back to Logan. But I absolutely think she was considering the offer. There's no part of me that doesn't believe that. That believes she was there just for information. Roman either. Now Connor, I don't know what Connor was doing, but both of them were.
So in regards to making, and by the way, I'm going to answer the question I just asked. I'm just going to take like the long path to it.
As usual.
So as usual, yeah. So something this show does well is it balances the characters out. Like um Ken, like actually is very intelligent, but he kind of lacks like business acumen, and he's a man child. Um, Whereas Roman actually has good business acumen, but he's an idiot. So a lot of the times he's just like, let's kill, 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 kill. But when it's time for that, that works. When it isn't, it doesn't. Shiv kind of has like the best of all of those qualities, but she's just a baby. Like she's just the baby. So basically what I'm saying is, since Shiv is the baby, she just wants to be wanted. So there was a part of that where she was like, I'm listening. But then at the same time, she was like, no, but I'm afraid of dad. And also when Kendall started going into, like, Kendall lost her the moment where he said, he can't refrain from this at all. I'll run the company. And then she was like, well, why can't it be me? He's like, well, you're just, the new woke face woman, whatever. So, like, yeah. But was he wrong?
That was my question right there. Was he wrong though? And the answer is
Absolutely
no.
not.
He's
Absolutely
right.
not. No.
He called her out, and then, and I'm trying to get the order correct. Did she lash out at Roman before or after that?
I want to say it was before that.
Okay, because I couldn't remember, because I remember looking at it and thinking, and I couldn't remember if I thought that she was lashing out at Roman because of it, or if Kendall was once again taken up for Roman. I couldn't figure out which one I thought it
You
was,
know
but
what?
it,
Now that I
it
think
matters
about it,
which order it is.
I feel like Roman was kind of like, yeah, he's not lying, and then she lashed out
And
at,
then she lashed
and
out.
yeah.
Yeah, she does that. And it's usually the two of them, and I'm sure
Hmm.
it's because of they're the youngest, and they seem to be the closest. But there was a part of me that could tell she did think she went too far, because she
Hmm.
did. Like she did. And even Kendall, he kind of laughed about it. He was like, he loves it. He knows better. He
Hmm.
knows better because he may get off on being berated, but it's like a pleasure point. It's not going to be the same from Shiv because it's Shiv, right? So that's just
Hmm.
full out. She hurt his feelings, and he left and acted like it was nothing. I had to use the bathroom. It's nothing. Like, yeah, whatever. Come and talk to you, and you calm down, and you came back in. So I think together, like if they could come together like Voltron, they would truly be the perfect child for Logan,
Hmm.
because they all took a part. It's like he self-corrected every time, right?
Hmm.
Connor is just Connor, and I'm assuming that has something to do with his mom. Like she protected him from the beast that is, Logan. We going full fucking beast. So she protected him from that. But if you look at how they are, he was self-correcting each time. So Kendall got that older child thing, because he was still in the house with him. He
Hmm.
got whatever Connor didn't have, he gave it to Kendall, but Kendall didn't take the same. That's why you got the whole "you're not a killer." Roman got it, but he didn't get, like you said, he didn't get the
Hmm.
business acumen. So Roman was like, okay, you didn't get the killer instinct, so I'm gonna give it to you, which is why he beat Roman, which is why Roman was treated the way he was, and that's what Roman got. He still got a spark of the business acumen. He has it, but he got too much of the killer. Shiv got exactly what she needed. She's a woman, and that's what's
Mm,
holding her back from their point of view, and also in societal views and everything else. But I think a part of her believes that too, and that goes back to her marrying Tom because she. I'm with you. I just honestly feel like she married Tom because she felt like she had to have a husband to be taken seriously, or she needed a man to speak up in times where she didn't feel like she would be able to. And that's why
right.
she made
Yeah.
him so much. And he falls right into it, which is, I mean, I guess they're perfect for each other, kind of. But mm,
I still think the person who is going to flip is Tom. Like I still think that. Like true enough, this episode, and I'm jumping ahead a bit. True enough, this episode ended with the whole like, "Oh, I love you" thing. Do you love me? You can't store my love. Yada yada yada. But when yeah, when Greg said, "Oh yeah, Shiv is heading up to see Kendall," he was kind of like, hmm. So Tom, all right. So Tom is an idiot, but he's not an idiot. So the fact that she like never tells him anything, like that's gonna obviously get to him, and he still hasn't forgotten about like basically being served up. Like she really tried to serve this man up.
she did like Tom Fitz. Speaking of idiots, though, I'm kind of jumped to Greg. Is he smart running? Like, is he playing another long game, or is he really this rattled? Because he vexes me.
All right, so
Like he's just so anxious, and I can't figure I can't figure out if this a part of his shtick or if that's who he is. Because in the moments of anxiety, he's by himself. So it's not like he's putting on for somebody else. I can't figure him out. I'm hoping he's a genius because of what happened before. But there's a part of me that's just like, Greg might be an idiot.
yeah, so just how I said this show balances his characters, I think he was obviously a step ahead on like saving the papers to save his own ass, but now he really might be just out of his depths because the whole asking a law student for help
Excuse me. First year.
first
First
semester.
year, first semester law student. That's like asking me for legal advice. Seriously. What has she learned about the law already? She hasn't done a semester. What has she learned? what what has she learned? And
She was
she's
like, "Yeah,
like,
you want me to text my professor?"
and the idiot said yes. Right? See, this is what I'm saying. I don't understand. It's like he's smart enough to know when he's being set up because that lawyer thing, that was definitely a setup for
Mhm,
sure. Absolutely.
mhm,
So he's smart enough to see through that, but I don't know. And then even with the papers, he gave Tom the papers, right?
mhm,
All of them. Because my thought was that he was giving Tom some papers, but they weren't the papers. Because Tom was about to burn them all up. Like what if the lighter had worked?
mhm.
He wouldn't have anything. So I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm starting to think Greg is just lucky.
Or maybe we just don't see the master plan. Maybe we
That's
don't.
what it is. He
Yeah,
on another wavelength.
yeah, he
We ain't on
is.
his
Like,
level. That eye. He got one of them third eyes open. I don't know. But I guess if we go back to the kids, did you answer? Do you think Shiv was ever wavering, or was she just getting intel?
no, I think there was a point where she was like, "Okay, I'm listening." I
Oh yeah,
mean,
yeah. You
uh,
said that. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah.
I do think the bottom line, like, regardless, is like she would never flip on her father. But I do think there was a time where she was like, "Okay, I'm intrigued," and it was almost a acknowledgement of the fact that they can take down Logan if they all came together, but they can't save themselves from themselves, so they'll never be able to come together.
Kind of like that whole show him that the God King can bleed type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I do think Roman. I don't know if I may have said earlier that I don't think he was wavering. I think he was there to get
Hmm.
information because I think of all of them, he's the most afraid of Logan. I truly
Yeah,
believe that.
yeah.
And Logan knows that, which is why he's his eyes and ears within the kids.
Hmm.
Um, Do you think they know that? Or are they like, okay, because my biggest question is Ken was giving them this whole, like, he gave them the playbook, he gave them the recipe. And my thought was, is he just this confident in what he's planning to do, or does he trust them? And I can't figure out which one it is.
So I feel like part of it is he's trying to sell them, and the other
Mm,
part is he knows that the information is going to go back to their dad, and he wants Logan to know what he's cooking up. So it's like twofold because he knows that this stuff is getting out. Like he's not afraid of that, but he just wants his dad to know that the threat is real.
hmm Okay. Also, did you believe Shiv when she was saying she didn't know? Because
I can
Kendall
see
was like,
that.
"We all knew." I, I'm
I
with
can
you.
see that. Yeah,
I
I can see
believed
that.
it, especially when she was like, "Well, I was 15, so I didn't get in the pool with them because I was 15," and that was my thought. I'm like, she made there was a part of her that knew something may have been off, but it
Hmm.
could also have been her growing up in this life, in this world, and knowing that some things just weren't appropriate for 15-year-olds, so she stayed away from it anyway,
Hmm.
and not necessarily knowing that that stuff wasn't appropriate at all. You know what I mean? So like the things they were doing to the women, she may have just thought that was the way it goes, but she stayed out of grown folks' business. And, as no other way to put it, she stayed away from it. But I still think there was a part of her that knew something was untoward about the whole thing. She just didn't really get into it because one, she's a girl, and two, she was 15. She's much younger than the rest of them.
Yeah,
Connor and Kendall for sure knew exactly what was going on. And
yeah.
maybe Roman too. Roman probably
Roman
knew
did
enough.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's the
But
whole boys will be boys thing. So of course, like Mr. Mo Lester would probably speak openly around the boys, but not so much around Shiv. So yeah.
because he knew Roman would, I mean, Logan would have his head if anything ever happened to her. So they knew she was
Mm-hmm.
off limits. It's another form of privilege for
Mm-hmm.
Siobhan. Like, you don't have to worry about these things because you have Logan. So you have the ringmaster protecting you, but nobody is protecting everybody else. Not even the
Mm-hmm.
boys, because they shouldn't have been in that either.
No.
Um, um, what was I with the so out of all of that, what is Connor doing? Why even call Connor to come to, to the house? What is his purpose? What is his reason? What does Ken, or is Ken just kind of calling him over because he's a sibling and they could have a unified front if all of them stand together, no matter
Yeah,
what their, is that it?
because he does have stake in the family, so he has to be there.
Okay.
But this is something that I see happening, and I don't mean this in a good way or to like give Connor credit, but I think they're starting to underestimate him, and by that I mean just the lengths that he will take his stupidity. This man, this man, if I'm not mistaken, is still actively running for president.
He is right
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
yeah.
That
So
goal hasn't changed.
don't underestimate how far this man will take it simply because he just wants to like and Connor is I'm so glad that they include this character because I absolutely hate Connor. Like even out of like I just like hate him as a character, period. Not even like well you can say like as a person, like as if he's real, like I do the rest of them. But as a character, I hate him. But I'm glad because he's a pseudo intellectual, spoon fed,
Oh,
but he thinks he knows everything, but he's clearly a doofus. So I'm glad this character is in here because nah, he is about to be dangerous because if there's one thing we know about this world, people are stupid. So they're gonna let you in the corner and him running for president is going to be super dangerous.
like that it makes sense for him to run for president. Like, as dumb as it is, it also makes perfect sense. It's
Hmm.
not surprising at all. Like, not in the least. Okay, so Jerry, what's gonna happen with Jerry?
I think all right, so I was thinking about this last night. There's a reason why. Because Shiv would have been the obvious choice to be CEO. But there's a reason why Jerry was appointed during this time, and it's because whoever is CEO right now is going to get served up.
Oh yeah,
Like it's as simple as that. So
yeah.
I think Jerry, like, and Jerry is like very wise, but I don't think, at least she hasn't shown any sign, but I don't think she realizes that yet. But here's the interesting thing: when Roman figures out what's going on behind the scene, because of course Logan doesn't know about Roman and Jerry, nor should he ever. But so the first moment that Logan says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna serve up Jerry," like she's out of here, that's gonna change the whole dynamic. I feel like that's gonna be the catalyst.
And I also think Logan's gonna have a problem because we were talking about being people being underestimated, and he's underestimating Roman
Hmm.
mostly because of who he is, and then, like you said, because of their relationship.
Hmm.
Because he felt confident asking him how Shiv was doing, was she wobbly, knowing she was sitting right next to him.
Hmm.
You know, like he knew they were together, and it's to me that's still him gaslighting because it's giving Roman this idea that he's important. I need you. You are my eyes and ears. You're important to me more so than any of these other people. When we know better, he's doing the same thing to Shiv. Shiv, you're going to be my eyes and ears and CEO and blah, 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 blah in a Jerry suit. I'm like, that's why I want less for her because I'm like, Shiv, he's done this to you how many times already? And it's only
Hmm.
been 3 seasons, girl. Like, come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Now, what I really want to talk about is my girl is back.
Oh yeah, I knew that was up next.
You said it, and we did mention that Kendall said, bring Marsha back. But I'm gonna say this: Marsha is like, "Oh, I'll be back, but some things got to change, and you got to come with."
She pulled up in the Brinks truck.
Why it be costing like it do? Like she playing no game. Marsha was like, this needs to be taken care of. But she got 2 kids, both of them need to be taken care of. Oh, and that little allowance I get, yeah, that ain't enough. So I need to be taken care of. And I'll play whatever role you want me to play. And I'm like, this lady, Shiv, this is who you need to be talking to. If you're gonna keep getting messed over, this is the one, this is the blueprint you need to take. Because she's like, yeah, I was embarrassed. Rule number one. He broke rule number one. Don't embarrass me.
Yeah, don't embarrass her. Yeah,
You
don't be playing in
embarrassed her.
people's face out here.
Exactly. And then he's like, what he said, I
Yeah,
can't
he
eat
say I
shit
can't
or
I
something
can't
like
eat
that.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fine. She's like, okay, you can't apologize. You can't look a certain way. Fine. But since you can't, this is the fee for you not
Mhm.
being able to do what I need because and that's the craziest part because Logan could have apologized. Logan could have made her feel better. He could have done those things, but he's so stubborn and has so much money that he doesn't have to. And Marsha's like, well, fine. Let me get some of it. As a matter of fact, let me get a lot of it. Like a whole lot of it. And my favorite part was the lawyer was saying, these
Yes.
numbers look large. These may sound like very big numbers, but when you consider what hell has happened and what all can happen, they don't seem as large. I said, let me get this lady on the line. This is who I
Yeah, she
need.
she she was basically like pay a little bit now or pay a lot later. So the
You want
choice is yours.
you want the happy family or you want to keep your ends. You decide. You decide. And I think Logan sees that as an ass. He sees Marsha as an asset, and he sees that she's savvy and she's smart, and he thinks that she's only there for the money. But I think he's underestimating her too, big time, because she could still, once she gets whatever she's about to get stamped right now, what's to keep her from just being like, you know what?
Right.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Because yeah, she like her kids are set up now. So if Logan takes the fall, she can be like, well, I'll holler at you.
Now, it's also embarrassing, though, that she has to stand behind him with these allegations. She's making a choice. I don't want people to think
Mhm.
that she's being forced to do. She is making a choice to stand beside him. And that's also embarrassing. So she's his wife, first of all, which is embarrassing enough. He had this affair, and I don't know how far it went, but what did she say? She's a whore. And it's not my fault that she couldn't finish the show. It's like, my God, Marsha, girl, she don't cut her words. And then you don't apologize or feel any remorse for the affair because yes, you miss Marsha. I believe he misses her. I honestly do. I think he misses the companionship. He misses the advice. He misses having her there to take care of him. But there's no part of me that doesn't believe he won't do it again.
Of course.
He's gonna do it again. So I think she's thinking about that too. Like, this is what you did the last time. If I come back, I've set a new precedent. I've set a tone to let you know that it's acceptable with this caveat. So this is how much this cost me. Am I willing to give her this much again? And he is. Because Logan gonna do what he wanna do.
I, I was I'm still curious about that number though.
I wanna
I
know
bet
what it
it's
is. Like,
ridiculous. I bet it's ooh,
astronomical. It's probably not even that. It's probably like she gets the money plus she gets like one of the properties and
mhm,
one of the castles and the helicopter probably and some kind of
mhm.
stake and waste starting. Like, it's probably
Like her name is on the trust now.
mm, hmm and she made sure
Like
that was I think that was the first thing she said.
that was the first thing she said. Like
let's
it's
talk,
finalized.
let's talk about this trust. Since we want to talk about trust, yeah, let's talk about trust. Let's do
Yeah, let's
that.
talk about trust.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about trust. But I like her. If we're going to get into if you're going to stay with him for whatever reason, get paid, Marsha. Get paid.
Yeah. Uh, a few million, possible billion reasons wrong. Why? Yeah.
Okay. What did you think when the Trojan horse rolled in?
Perfect for the show. I was like, this damn show, man. Like
First of all,
I just laughed when I saw
like who
it. I don't know if you caught it, but Jess was like, should we open it?
yeah, exactly. I'm like, no. You should why
Like,
and my thought is, why is it still in the apartment? Even if it's a joke, why is it still here? Because I'm thinking there are probably some bugs in that thing. There, like cockroaches are gonna roll out of it. Something is
yeah.
it's a literal troll, like it's a Trojan horse. Everybody knows the story. It's there. So I'm like, it's fine, whatever. And I know I'm like me. Maybe you're thinking too much of it, but I would have allowed it in my space. No, okay, I see
No,
it, but take
no.
it back out. Take it back out. There's no reason for it to still be here. Okay. What about the donuts?
I would not have touched them donuts.
Was it who said it? It was who said, do you really think he would send poison donuts to the house with his grandchildren? Was that Roman?
Yeah, then Roman's like, I'm 98% sure those donuts
98%
are.
sure he wouldn't. Yeah. And I was just like, he did throw a can of beans
Yeah.
at one, at one of them. So I can't be so sure. But
I
that was
just
that
know
was Logan saying, I know y'all are together, right? That was the
yeah,
point of doing this.
it was
Okay.
like I see you. Yeah.
Yeah, I see y'all. And then didn't Shiv mention something about pictures from the window?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like it was a question about whether they get together. He knows his kids, and I think he knew that they were all gathered.
Mm.
I do think he was a little nervous too, because
He was, yeah.
since Kendall went rogue, it's like, dang, what's Shiv gonna do? I think he felt solid about Romulus. Like Roman just Roman is he got Roman under his thumb in his mind. So I don't think he ever worries about Roman. But I think Shiv was a serious concern for him.
Hmm.
And now that he has her, or at least I think he has her, because I want her to be smarter, although I don't think she is, but I want her to be. He's confident. I don't know what his move is though, because I know Kendall's playing now, but I don't know Roman's. I mean, I'm sorry, Logan's.
Logan is just gonna, yeah.
Just gonna ride it out.
He's Yeah, because he said we're not putting a statement out. We're not admitting guilt. He said we're gonna fight this. We're gonna like if it make basically he's gonna take the fight to Kendall. He's gonna say like obviously Kendall like has issues, so he's doing this for a specific reason. So there's no validity to any of it. Like he's ready to fight.
Well, on the one hand, he can't bring up the murder. I say
Hmm.
murder, and I know it was I guess you could say manslaughter because the man that died was actually the one who pulled the wheel. I get that,
Hmm.
but there's some like there's a law about helping people, right? Like you can't just know that they're drowning and not try to do anything or not try to help them. Or am I making it up?
So I will say this: who knows that Logan actually helped Kendall? because they like he made the discovery and he was like, you know, the boy obviously stole the key card from your room. It was outside the lake. So Logan has that much influence to kind of say, like, you know that I know what happened, but I'm just gonna
Hmm.
keep on hold on to this just in case. So as far as we know, if we got there, Logan could say, I didn't know about this.
He could easily, but him going to visit the family is gonna look away. I think he's safe though. I'll say
Hmm.
that, and I could be wrong, but I think Kendall's safe on that front, and I think Kendall knows he's safe on that front. I think what really did it for Kendall was the fact that he got him out of the situation to blackmail him, only to try to send him to jail. Like that was the
Hmm.
whole point of me doing this in the first place. So I went up jail. I'm going anyway. It's gonna
Hmm.
blow all of this up. Um, the part two when he had that heart to heart with Shiv, it was like, I'm you. I'm the person
Hmm.
you want to be, or the person, the real you. What did you think of that? Did you think that was true to it?
Yeah, because there is, I feel like there is a part of Shiv that wishes she had that, and I don't even know what it is, but just whatever it takes to like just really break away and like just snatch the company from Logan. Because right now, she feel like her only path is just waiting in line.
Because she's
Kendall,
not
like,
a killer.
yeah, Kendall is like, no, I'm just gonna snatch it. I've tried it before. We're just gonna do this, like back and forth until you die, pretty much.
Until you die, and that's just what it is. I think him saying that he is the real her is a stretch. I do believe that he is the person she wants to be, or that she
Hmm.
thinks she is.
Right.
So it's kind of like, you know how you fill out personality profiles to tell you what
Hmm.
kind of personality person you are. When you fill them out, you're either very honest or you fill them out thinking about the person that you think you are, or the person that you want to be. And that's
Hmm.
Shield's problem. She has this idea that she's one thing, but like you say all the time, she's just Logan Jr. and that's
Hmm.
it. Like that's who she is. And I want less for her because of that. I just do. I don't want her to have any great thing. Tom is confusing um now because he's gotten some confidence, and I don't know what that means for Siobhan in the long run. Because I'm now more on board with you with him flipping. I think it's a
Yeah,
very real possibility.
I feel like that's just, yeah, I just feel like that's our only pathway because the more that cousin Greg is focused on, Tom is gonna have to come into the fold to kind of protect himself. So I feel like it's gonna be a situation where, okay, Shiv is with the family and she tried to basically serve me up on the yacht. I gotta protect myself. So yeah, I'm team Kendall now.
I, it's really crazy still though how she goes to him, because that's like he's her person, and I guess that's another reason why she married him, because she wanted, I guess, a confidant or somebody that was going to kind of boost her up or pump her up, you
Mm.
know what I mean? And make her, remind her that she's great, because who else does she have? Does she have friends?
I mean, Lisa allegedly, but no,
See how that went, you know? So
yeah.
like she had, because I remember seeing her bridesmaid at her wedding. She had bridesmaids, and I was like, who are these niggas? Like, I don't know who these people are, but maybe they are her friends. I don't know. And she just can't talk to them because it's
Mm.
business, which makes sense. But it seems like it's very lonely,
Yeah.
because Logan
Well,
still, I mean, not Logan, even Kendall had friends, because not Sandy, the other one. What's the other one's
Stewie,
name? Stewie. They were kind of friends, right? Or at least on some level.
they were college drinking buddies. I think that
Oh, but
friendship is only one sided because Stewie is like, yeah, I'm where the money at.
yeah, where the money resides, and he doesn't play like he doesn't pretend that he's not though, which is
Right.
good. Like he shows you who he is. Uh, I know I'm kind of going all around, but as images pop in my head, I'm thinking about it. Jerry told um Romulus to stick with her. What does that mean?
Hmm.
What does it mean?
because I do think they have this plan where like they both yeah, I think they both want Roman to be the guy, but they
Me too.
both acknowledge that Roman doesn't have the experience yet. So they want that partnership where Jerry has the title and I'm assuming the pay and benefits, but Roman can feed the information upwards to her. And then when this is all resolved, Jerry can step back, have her old job back, and then be behind Roman, who would then be the CEO. So yeah, she's just asking that he remains patient and stick with her. But like I said
So
previously, I don't think they realized the threat though.
does she want to be CEO? Because this is what it sounds like. It sounds like what you said. She doesn't necessarily even want to be CEO. She just wants to stay in the fold. And to
Mm.
do that, she has to be CEO for now. And then just kind of swap them two out. And she just go back to be who she was for Logan to Rome. Or to Roman, yeah.
Yeah, so I really think she just wants to be like counsel. I don't think she has any. Now, will that change? Like that's the question. But no, I think she just wants to be counsel. I don't think she has any desire to truly be CEO.
She's good at it. Like
Mm-hmm.
that she's good at. She puts fires out, and the way she was talking to whoever the lady was from the White House, that
Mm-hmm.
was masterful. Like it
Yeah.
really was. And, she was just like, it's out of my hand. She was like, yeah, unless you grab it. So she's good at her job. That's very obvious. But I don't I don't even is Logan good at his job, or is he just a mean man with a lot of money?
No, like he is. Yeah, I mean, he has to be for the empire that he built. So yeah, he's good at his job.
Okay. Okay. I mean, well, you're right, because this is a huge media. Is it a conglomerate, or is it just like one big massive media
So
thing?
so just imagine Fox News, Fox Sports, like imagine Fox Studios, then imagine like if they had like a theme park division. This is all under one umbrella. So it is really our enterprise that like spans like the globe because they
Hmm.
are in Europe, they're in Asia. So yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. Okay, so you're right. I mean, you don't fail that far up. You gotta have
Mhm,
something. So even if there was privilege to get him to the point, he had to sustain it.
mhm.
Okay. All right.
And he said it in season two. He made it out the mud. He was because he was like, I don't even want to look at that damn house. He talking about his childhood house.
Yeah,
Yeah. So Logan made it out the mud.
he made it up. I guess. I mean, whatever. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's where we are now. Who's gonna win? Is Kendall gonna win? Is Logan gonna win?
There are no winners. I mean,
That's what
really.
Jerry said.
Yeah. I mean, the way this is going because you have the best solution right in front of your face, which is the siblings team up. And Roman even said this when he was talking to Jerry, like basically having like an executive board. Like, why can't all four of them split the power? But no, because they are all Logan's kids. They want it for themselves. So there are no winners.
But because they've all been taught by that same person to want
Hmm.
it all. I
Hmm.
mean, so but did Kendall's plan not include that? It didn't, did it? It included
No,
Kendall
no,
being
because
top dog. Yeah.
because he was like, I'll be the guy, and then
Hmm.
y'all could be over certain divisions, and they were just like, okay, we back to square one.
He's so he's
Like
so
you
caught
said,
on.
this,
He got the rest of the world.
yeah, yeah,
What's left? Alabama and Florida. I don't know what's
yeah,
left. Like you didn't give him anything. He's just like, oh, it's great. But I'm like, Connor, do you even want it? Do you even want it? I guess being left out though feels different than if I don't want it, that's one thing. But you can't just not let me have it. That's
right.
different. So yeah. All right. So nobody wins. And okay, so short term though, this battle, because nobody wins the war. Who wins this battle? Who's the head of Waystar when this situation is over? just this one with the cruise line stuff. Who wins this one? Do the FBI really come in and say, "Hey, this is what happened, and somebody's got to go to jail," or does Logan work his magic and it go away, or do the papers really mean anything? Does Greg have something substantial?
All right, so yeah, something substantial, and it should put people behind bars. But this show just shows that when people have money and influence, they're untouchable. So to answer your question, Logan is going to be on top again. Somebody's going to jail, but it's not him,
No, nobody going
and
to jail.
nothing's going to happen.
What if it's Tom? Like, what if at the end of it, it's still Tom that goes to jail, or Connor, or Greg? What if Greg goes to jail? Like, of all the people, it ends up being Greg.
Nah, free Greg until Greg free.
It was backwards. I know, right? Yeah. I don't know, man. This is just. I didn't expect this episode to be as enjoyable as it was, like you said, because it's just a whole lot of talking. It's a
Hmm.
lot of talking, and what he was saying though made sense. And the fact that he had this plan, he was saying this was wrong. And there was a part of me that kind of thought, well, maybe Kendall is better than I thought he was. Because last episode we were saying that Kendall was doing this just for himself. Like this is something that you were able to fix, but while still promoting yourself, you know. But that's like the way he was talking today, it almost felt like he really does believe that this shouldn't have happened,
See,
right? This
oh,
thing shouldn't have happened. And I should have said something a long time ago, and I just wasn't brave enough, but now I am.
see, I actually got a different read. So to me, especially when Kendall was laying out his plan, and there's a difference between like confident Kendall and like when Kendall starts stuttering, like he's full of shit. So
Hmm.
my read is that he doesn't even know, and kind of like Logan said in season one, he doesn't know why he's doing what he's doing. Like, because he asked him, he was like, "Okay, you're trying to take the company from me, but to do what?" And yeah, Kendall laid out this plan, but to me, it came from a place where, oh, I just thought about this 30 seconds ago.
Hmm. But Rome kind of disputed that, right? He's like, you had this spontaneous plan that was clearly laid out from legal counsel.
Let me say this. I knew no, I feel like Kendall knew he was going to burn Logan,
Hmm.
but
I did too.
what he does with the company once he actually gets it, he has no idea what he's
Okay.
gonna do. He just wants to burn Logan.
How about it? So you think, okay, so at what point though do you think Kendall decided that he was going to burn him? When he sent him to jail, or even before that?
The so I think, like I said, I think he was scheming all of season two, but the
Okay.
moment where he was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, is when he was on the helicopter because well no before the helicopter when he got picked as the person to go because remember cousin Greg left with him. Why else would cousin Greg leave with him?
Hmm.
So I
Yeah, he
think
did
I
pick
think he was
cousin
like
Greg.
I think he was like okay it's on now like we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he probably told Greg. Do you think that when he got there, because it feels like when they landed, they went to the
Hmm.
press conference, but that may not be the case because they had to change clothes and all that stuff. So that may have been when he filled Greg in and was like, okay, go get the
Hmm.
papers and then we'll do whatever else. But it feels like Greg's got like three papers, like literally like three papers,
Hmm.
because Tom burned the rest of them. And that's all he could stuff in his pants.
Hmm.
Is that enough? I mean, I guess you really only need one that says, oh, yeah, by the way, this shows that this man was doing what we said he was doing. And miraculously, all the rest of them disappeared.
I mean, if you got a paper with a man named Mo Lester on it, then not just playing. His name is it? His name is not Mo Lester, but no.
Also known as Molester, better known as Molester. Yeah, that was awful. And the fact that went by, even in the hearing, and it was just kind of like,
Hmm.
because they sent Tom out to the wolves for that too.
Yeah.
You know what? Logan did that to Tom and to Kendall because he put the onus on Kendall during the hearing too.
Hmm.
Poor Kendall. He really is. Like I don't like Kendall. Like I don't, but it's hard not for me to feel sorry for him just because of who his dad is. Because Logan's awful.
Hmm.
L to the OG is pretty bad.
He is. He's a terrible human being.
Yes, he is. So do you think Sandy and tell me his name again? I can't never remember. Stewie.
Sandy and Stewie. So no, Sandy and Stewie are still trying to figure out. They don't care who wins the fight. They don't care. They're just saying, either way we win because the proxy battle hasn't gone away. So they're like, okay, Kendall, if you want to do this, we're still gonna. And by the way, let me back up. I don't know why Kendall keeps trusting Stewie because the moment that Kendall gets the company, Sandy and Stewie just gonna take it from him. So like,
The
why do you?
moment. Like as soon as like as soon as they get it, they're out. And Jerry said that too.
Yeah.
That's why she's smart. They need her. That's who he should have been trying to get. And I know he couldn't because she's
Hmm.
CEO of Waystar, but that's who I would have been trying to get for the most. Why does he want what's his face so bad? What's his name? Frank. Why does he want Frank?
Well, I was about to say Frank like actually has like very good instincts because whenever Frank says something, it's typically like the right call.
Okay.
But for some reason, they just hate Frank and they never listen to him. So he has instincts, and as much as possible, because if you align yourself with these people, I mean, you are who you are. But as much
Yeah.
as possible, like he seems like the best of them, Like he doesn't seem like he wants to like truly be backstabby unless it's Logan and Logan's doing dirt. But no, like so he tries to do the right thing as much as possible working for this company.
Mm, we'll see. I don't know. What what is Hugo's job? What is his job? Because he's always there, but I don't
So
know. I mean, he was even in there when they were talking to Marsha. Is he just like the right hand or
so they brought Hugo in when the cruises thing became a thing. But
okay,
now he's sticking around and he's like in the inner circle. Like So yeah, he was like over like the cruises and the theme parks,
hmm
but now that this has become a thing, like I think he has no choice but to remain like in the inner circle.
okay, I got it. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's kind of it for me for this episode. I'm I am surprised that Shiv was smiling, after he told her what was happening. But I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see. We shall see.
Michelle.
But yeah, that concludes our recap for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're watching, please continue to check us out. We are all on all streaming platforms. That's on last week's episode. You can watch us on YouTube at the Kids for Crowns YouTube page, Not the Rock Band. But
Not
yeah,
the rock
that's all we
band.
have. D, any closing thoughts?
Nope. Thanks for joining us as usual, like Ronnie said, and keep watching with us. Give us your comments. I don't know if he gave you the Twitter, but it's at the KWC blog. And we are on Facebook, kind of, but not the
Kind of,
rock
yeah.
band.
We're not the rock band, but yeah, that's all we have for this week. Until next week,
Peace.
peace.